Hi folks, welcome back to the Horde. So it's about 33 degrees Fahrenheit. There you go, the normal view. This is an hour slow, so it's a little bit after 11. It is Sunday, 3/22. And this is 0.2 degrees Celsius. So we're hanging out right there with freezing. My Energizer in the back there is all nice and charged up. And I don't know, this is a little fast. This is 32.9, so 33. We're all good here. Anyway, what am I up to? Well, let me show you. Actually, just quickly, sometimes as I'm shooting this video, I'm also shooting it for myself to refer back to, like, how bad was the weather last year in March, the first day of spring, and I could go to my YouTube channel and easily see that, right? I could just look at the video I make, because typically I do take a quick look at the weather. You guys remember I built this in the fall, and as is par for the course for somebody with attention deficit disorder, I did not finish it. I never got the curtains on it, and I do have to get the curtains on for spring because I really don't want this plastic to get all beat to death from the sun or the seats or anything else. You guys could see from the footprints that I'm lucky enough to have cats step all over my stuff. Anyway, but it really worked out fairly well. When you're cheap, as I am, you have a tendency to keep an eye on what materials cost. And the roofing was 12 foot long, so I wanted to cut it in half and make the most use out of it, and therefore it's only got 6 foot of overhang, and you can only put so many all-terrain vehicles in there. I have a tendency to try to stick extra ones in there, which means they don't fit all the way in, so the tail end hangs out. Okay, see if I can't get down these stairs and all in one piece. The discussion, what am I doing with this video? I'm going through the final layouts. That's my wife on the piano. I'm going through the final layouts here, trying to figure out how long things are, what materials I have, what else I need to buy, am I missing anything? And I'm doing that so that as I'm putting it together, I don't get to that oh crap moment when I can't go any further because I've hit a roadblock. You can see I have a bunch of rulers here, like this one here, and you can see where the 6-inch mark is right there. Now I have this motor is kind of jacked. You could see the motor sitting on a 2x4 right on the spring, and the spring is above the frame, right? So once I put angle iron, or unistrut as this is, I'm going to have the unistrut sit right under the existing frame, which will jack this whole thing up. And then I'm going to have this hole here, and I'm not exactly sure how big this hole is going to be yet. I'm going to have this hole here for the engine to sit in. As I'm putting this together, picture unistrut running from that point all along the outside, coming out back here, actually right back here, right? So this is going to be up quite a ways, assuming this is all the same frame, and it appears to be right. They off-centered the shackle for the leaf spring right there. So It's going to jack it up plenty. I'll have plenty of room. This will be up nice and high. That's all good. Width-wise, you can see I have that, and it goes out to somewhere around 25, 26. You can see I have the engine sitting there more or less against that side, so you can see I have plenty of space here for the brake disc and the sprocket. Once again, I'm trying to decide exactly where to put the rear end. I do have the ability to move the rear end quite all the way back, and as I do that, I can move the engine back, and as I do that, theoretically, two things. First of all, I end up with the engine in the open air, which is good because it'll be a little cooler. Though having it under the seat, I could just put a fan or a chute, a grid where my, in that firewall, that front seat support right there, so that I could put a grid and a fan blowing backwards. This will have a 12-volt system, so that could also cool it. So I'm not too worried about keeping this thing cool. But I'm trying to decide if it pays to move the engine back. The nice thing about having and the rear end back. Nice thing about having the rear end all the way in the back, I could theoretically put some kind of toe mount on it and not worried about wheeling it up. Though with my my extra heavy posterior sitting there, I don't think it's going too far. This is also working out nice because if somebody's sitting on it, I have weight there, and then if I have the engine more this way, that helps balance the human. So anyway, yeah, I'm just looking this over, and I'm realizing that this piece of unistrut is somewhere around 5 foot long. It's not the 7 foot long that the cart is. Just for some dimensions, by the way, if you guys are ever thinking of messing with a golf cart, some of this is important. An electric golf cart is approximately 7 foot long, and they are somewhere around 4 foot wide. That says 45, 44. So that just kind of gives you an idea. So like 44 inches wide by 7 foot long. The gas powered ones are about the same length, maybe just slightly longer, but they are wider, a good 6 inches wider. Important for you folks that like to jam your garage full of crap and every inch matters, right? People like me, crazy hoarders. Yeah, I'm so here's the rear end. From the pictures you saw, the engine will be sitting here, right? Here's the sprocket, disc brake. I have it held in place with that magnet there, but the disc brake, right now I have it pulling, it'll be pulling forward. Depending on mounting, I could, reverse it with a cable or whatever. I cleaned up the axle, dizzy way here. Right, got my wire brush on it. So I clean the axle so everything's able to move around nice. Yeah, I wanted to do kind of a trial setup, so I could see if everything's going to work, and it does appear so. Obviously, these are going to be the other way around, and they're going to hook up to the unistrut. I do have to buy a couple of pieces of unistrut. Yeah, I'm doing the layout to figure out what needs to be cut, what doesn't need to be cut. Back up away so you guys could see the whole rear end. If you're out buying this stuff, axle stock isn't too bad. I see the Surplus Center has it. The only bad thing about the Surplus Center is their postage is tough. But they do have axle stock reasonable. Pillow bearings, these are the Chinese ones. They seem to be cheapest over eBay. You're looking at about $10 each for the pillow bearings on eBay. The axle stock, I think it's going to be like a $30 bill. So there's your first 50. And then, you know, you're going to make a decision if you're going to buy these. I seem to remember them, I don't know, $22 each. So there's another 44. So you're looking at, you got almost 75. Then you got to buy flanges, sprockets, brake disc, right? I think I saw a kit somewhere. I think it was on BMI Carts. I think I saw the whole kit was 120 something bucks. But they had, I guess they're called flange bearings. You know, the ones that you squeeze between plates like this, right? I think those are known as flange bearings. I think it came with those instead of the pillow bearings. For what I'm doing, the pillow bearings are easy to deal with. Flange bearings, I mean, not that big a deal. You end up cutting a hole and in a piece of metal, hooking the flange up to it, and then make sure your piece of metal has a right angle on it if you want to basically turn your flange bearing into a pillow bearing. Will it be as strong? Not necessarily, right? But if you're trying to use what you have, right, and you don't mind putting some time and labor into it. So, yeah, it really looks like I got to take this bolt. I have one bolt, so I got to go match up the other one. I'm also missing a lug nut, so I have 4 for one side, 3 for the other. Right. So I got to dig up a lug nut. But as I'm really looking at this, if I buy the Unistrut like tomorrow at Home Depot, I can really start putting this together. One bad thing, this week is supposed to be cold basically until Tuesday, Wednesday, just in time for me to go back to work again. You know, I only work 2 days a week, but it seems like as you're trying to place weather and work all at the same time, it doesn't work out. I'm always like crowded out. I have 2 projects going on at the same time. Obviously, this project, and I also have the 200X automatic project, the 200X, putting a 200S motor on it. That's to the point where I need to figure out why it'll fire like a couple of dozen times in a row, and then miss a few times, and then fire a couple of dozen times. I put new batteries in my CDI unit. It's still doing it. So the next thing is I got to figure out if it's the advance. For some reason, I think it might be because I was using that advance when I was playing with the second portable CDI, and it wasn't always firing. I think it might have a weak magnet or a screwed up magnet. So I'm going to change that out and see if that fixes it. I found another advance with bad springs, so I could wire it to the non-advanced state. If that doesn't fix it, then I'll change out the pulse generator. I just ordered 3 fresh pulse generators. Some guy had them for like $20 each, brand new. They're probably a China knockoff, but nowadays what isn't? So worst comes to worst, that should be here a week from Friday, so I can smash a brand new one onto it and see how she feels. Yeah, I got a couple here. These two are nice. They got springs. The one without springs is outside. All right, folks, I want to thank you for watching and commenting and subscribing. I'm coming into the final layout here, so if you guys see something that I don't, or if you see something that you can mention to me to make my life easier, or once again some step I'm supposed to take that's going to make my life a lot harder, please let me know before I chase myself down that rat hole. I'm not too proud to take advice from people who've done this more than I have and see things, or even if you've never done this, if you look at it and you say, oh my God, this is never going to work for the following reason, and let me know. Maybe I've taken it into account and I haven't mentioned it, or maybe I haven't, and you guys could help me out. I take help wherever I could get it. How's that song go? I get by with a little help from my friends. Well, in my case, I need a lot of help. Once again, guys, thank you always for watching and commenting and subscribing. Please keep all those going on. Remember to keep your feet down, keep your head up, and please remember to enjoy all your days. You don't know how many you're going to get, and even if you get a lot of days, you don't know if you're going to be healthy for all those days. So make sure you get out there and play. If you're thinking of taking some trip somewhere, go do it. Remember, one of two things happens. If you retire young, or you take too much time and spend too much money while you're young, having a good time, you run the risk of living a long time and being broke. The alternative to that is, if you don't take the time when you're young to go out and have a good time and play and laugh and spend too much money, if you don't do that, you might die and leave somebody rich, right? And I mean, there's a middle of the road somewhere, but make sure you enjoy your time and your resources. I mean, be generous, but enjoy your resources, because it would really, really suck to die young and leave way too much behind, Anyway, folks, take care now. See y'all soon.